There we go. Good morning, everyone. This is Captain MKG here. Thank you so much for joining me. As usual, this is our 7 a.m. wake-up call or 6 a.m. wake-up call, depending on where you are in the world. Let's go ahead and get Civilization 6 fired up here. Let's go ahead and get the game started. We're going to try and see if we can't finish this game today. Hey, 47 Yorktown, good morning. Good morning from the Rockies. Cheers to you, bud. Okay. It's 7 a.m. here, my friend. It would help if I actually played the play button or press the play button. So if it's 10 a.m. for you, what would your time zone be called? Because it has to be beyond the Eastern time zone, right, Yorktown? Oh, my God. Just the debt. Oh. Sorry, it's the loading screen that's just killing me with all the noises and shit. Good coffee. It's always nice when you don't burn the coffee. All right, single player, resume game. Let's see if we can't finish this. Atlantic time zone. Okay, thank you. I've never really considered what it would be called. Because I think, if I remember right, GMT means Greenwich Mean Time, correct? Hey, Bird Kapla. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Just playing a little bit. We're going to try and finish this since we took out Canada yesterday. If the game will ever freaking load. Thank you. That's all I wanted from you, game. I just wanted you to load for just a minute. All right. Well, while I'm waiting, I'll put the link up here in case anybody wants to jump up. If not, not a big deal. Read Twitter yet? Oh, that's right. I need to share this on the tweets. Second round, Civilization and coffee. Okay. Do so before I think we might need to talk. What the hell is going on the Twitterverse that I'm not aware of? Okay, let me shrink this screen down a little bit so I can see things. Oh, it takes forever. This is why I want to try and finish this game this morning, because this takes forever to load now with everything. Although it shouldn't be that long because it's... here we go. Yes. Now that Canada is mine... Yes, I'm leading in diplomacy. Haha. Oh, no worries. Just checking LDG, making sure I didn't miss anything. All right, score. I'm winning significantly. Science, don't care yet. Culture, I need to work on that and get my tourism up. Domination. Oh, don't worry. It's going to be a third capital here real quick. Diplomacy. Yes. The next one must die. Religion. Yeah. We can win this game. But first we have to take out this gentleman over here. Which It'll be a bit of a pain for him. I'm not starting with Canada hate again, Yorktown. There's no Canada hate left to do. Because look, the Canada in this game is now under my control. So it's all good. Canada and I, we're all good. All right. Time to get things rocking and rolling. Flood barriers, gotta get those going because, well, climate change in the game. Repair. Actually, what I really should be doing is going through all of these and setting up the queue. Multi-queue, queue. Okay, I'll get there with these. All right, let's heal the units. Heal the core. Or is it Armada? Oh, it's an army now. Let the hate flow through you. Oh, hell yeah. I would not deny the citizens of Canada their coffee. How dare I? How dare I? Okay, we'll keep that at attack. Heal. Once we have a fully healed army, we're going in. Oh, yes. Take those combat districts down. Build the railroad. Ah. I see you want to attack, huh? You know what that means. Oh, hang on. Hey, NB.
Hey, did you conquer Canada yet?
Oh, yeah. We conquered Canada before the end of yesterday.
Okay. Where are you going? Who are you going after now?
Well, the next task is to go after Hungary, which is this capital right here.
Oh, nice.
So, which, again, I don't think it will take too long just because their health isn't exactly the highest and their ships are still a frigate, which is, oh, wait, that's just stuck in there. Yeah, they're still using wooden sailing ships, but they have an airport. It's very bizarre, but
that makes no sense.
I know that's sometimes the goofy thing with civilizations is sometimes technologies don't catch up with one another.
One of the things I liked about some of the Star Wars stuff we got is they still keep the technology relative to where it was, and they had a really good explanation. I thought for that is like civilization peaked at this point, and they just really haven't done a lot more advances in it. And I'm like, okay, I can understand that. Sorry about my voice. I think I'm coming down with something again.
You're all good as long as it doesn't hurt to talk too much.
No, it's fine. It might be because last night I was having a very, very great talk with, I don't know if you know who the ambassadorial wing is.
I don't know who that is.
He was one of the first people I met on YouTube, and very early on, a few years ago. And he was doing Gremlins, and oh my goodness gracious, we just got so enthralled in it. I was like, I cannot believe we've been talking for almost 2 hours about this. we just kept going and going on all the things that were so great about it and stuff. It was really interesting. It was probably one of the most fun. I've never had a conversation about Gremlins on a panel before, so that was really nice and unique.
Yeah. It's always rare to get those opportunities where you can actually, converse with somebody for lengthy periods of time and not even realize what the time is going through. And then, hang on here, 47 Yorktown, French Canadians. Well, Yorktown, you tell me what to do with the French Canadians, because I'm not sure what you want me to do about them, other than keep them in your other than keep them in their little corner. But anyways, MD.
Oh my goodness! It that rivalry between the French Canadians and the rest of Canada is, it's interesting to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I never expected that, but
I've never been to Quebec, so I don't know. I've only been to last time I was in Canada. Oh my God! Like I said, with the Niagara, I went to Niagara Falls with my grandmother and some other family, and I don't know where we went when we crossed the Canadian border, but I don't know. I don't remember, and unfortunately, nobody who was with me at that time is alive to tell me.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm experiencing that a lot myself over the past couple decades, where it's just like, yeah, I'd like to learn all about my ancestry and everything, but everybody who could tell me is dead.
My great uncle was very big into doing a lineage of two parts of our family, the Hildreths and the Rainwaters. And I'm told and I've been able to find a lot of stuff, and I'm told he had a lot of great detail. And I've tried to get my great aunt. Unfortunately, last time I was visiting, I totally spaced on asking, because I asked her if I could have it so I could continue it, because he has Alzheimer's, and unfortunately he's in a home now.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife has been learning so much about her family. Yes.
Oh, are you on the stream?
Yes, I am, buddy.
Okay.
My wife, her mother passed away this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was really a shock for everybody. But when she was back home with her dad and stuff, her mother kept everything. Mm-hmm. And she's got news articles and clippings of family and photos of it. Dude, my wife found two freaking I think they were birthday or Christmas cards. One with a $20 bill in it, and one with a check for $20. And I just jokingly laughed at it. I'm like, I don't think we can cash that check. I think that's it. But it was so interesting. And she's been getting on the ancestry.com stuff, and she's been updating it and really getting informed on it. And there's pictures of her family who, the Greatest Generation and World War II and stuff, and their uniforms and everything. It's just turns out one of her ancestors was very prominent in the region we live in. He was very successful, very famous farmer. Had a shit ton of land, and she was talking about how in the story, and what she was reading is he, I think, lost the use of his legs, and we're talking way back when, and he basically would be in like a kind of wheelchair, but he would still get pushed around, and he was dedicated to his farm, mm-hmm. dedicated to the work he was doing, and it's very interesting, when you learn that stuff about it, when you learn stuff about your family. My dad's side of the family, that's where my grandmother's side. But as far as my last name side, the Reeds, which is Reed, I can only trace that back to my great grandfather on that side. After that, there's nothing I can find, and there's nobody alive I can talk to.
I mean, that's kind of like the similar boat that I'm in when it comes to trying to figure out any of the family lineage on my father's side. Because again, like you said, they've either all passed or nobody bothered to really, tell anybody. Yeah. So I'm just like, great. Now I've got to figure this shit out on my own if I can.
Well, I mean, there's when it came to my grandfather's side, my paternal side, there's right now there are only if my father is still alive, there's only one, two, three, four male reeds.
Hmm.
So and the one other one the one I know of, one of his brothers, is somewhere in Colorado Springs, but I can't find him anywhere. And I have nobody and I've called family and they're like, yeah, we don't have a clue. I tried to stay in touch with him after my grandma died, his mother, or his stepmother.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I have no clue. I know his son is not going to have children and carry on the line because he has a certain medical condition. So they have to take care of him pretty much the rest of his life.
Hmm.
And his daughter, of course, married. And then, so there's basically right now me, my son, and my grandson, because my daughter kept our name, kept the last name.
I see.
But as far as my dad, I'm actually thinking about next year, when I can afford it. I'm thinking about hiring a private investigator, because I need to know.
I understand because I'm right there with you. I would love to have the availability to do that myself and just let me see what you can find out because I can't read the language, and it's going to take a lot. It's going to be a lot easier for somebody, excuse me, to you know, research and find out everything compared to me, who I'm just be like, well, there it is, I guess.
I mean, the last I know his last known location, which was Sumter, South Carolina. That's where I left after before I moved before I moved back to the Midwest in Indiana, and I haven't heard from. I barely have heard from him, and then I heard from him once, almost 6 months ago, and that was after, and literally that wasn't even him. That was the mechanic calling me, telling me about my dad's accident that he'd been in,
Right.
his attack and everything. And, that was the last I've heard of him. And I've called the homeless shelter, the hospital, the morgue, the jail, just to find him. And they're like, all they can do is, I can't get the homeless shelter to answer the damn phone to save my life.
Jesus.
And I'm not even 100% sure they would even tell me if he's there. I'm like, I just want to know if he's been there. The only thing I got was the last time I called the cops there was they said, yeah, I know your dad. I saw him about a month ago. And that was all I got. So
Yeah, it's like that's great, but I need more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I finally get a hold of him, there's going to be a coming to Jesus moment between us. And there's going to be some heated words for me, but I still want to know. And then I'll probably hug the hell out of him.
Yeah. It's only natural. Like I would imagine that'd be my reaction if I were to see my father for the first time in so long. Just like, look, but if there was some major event that happened, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself here.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're going there. Trust me. I understand.
So, yeah.
You know what? The way you move and click stuff, it reminds me of my son. You guys just move so fast on these games.
Well, that's why there's not too much commentary sometimes. So,
well, my son he's been playing Ghost of Tsushima for the first time, and he absolutely loves that freaking game. And it's one of the few times where I'm the one telling him, He's asking me for advice on the game because I played it and absolutely loved it, and was able to give advice on it and stuff. And I'm like, well, this is a switch. Usually, I'm the one asking him for advice.
Right.
Because my son is a game. Like I said, I play games. My son is a gamer.
Mm-hmm. I understand. That's what I was doing. No, I get it. There is a definite difference between the two.
Yes, absolutely. I will never say I am a gamer because I don't have that kind of passion for it like people do. Now, am I passionate about Risk? Yes, I love Risk, but I like certain games. I like playing backgammon and stuff like that. Actually, I was so thrilled to learn how to play backgammon. I was like, oh my God, I love this game.
That's one game I've been trying to figure out how to play myself one of these days because it would be nice to.
It is really easy and quick to learn, but to master it, oh God, I would not want to go up against a backgammon master because I probably lose really quick. But I've had some, and like my wife. Actually, here I'll show you. My wife got me this for Christmas last year. This is a backgammon board set because she knew I wanted one.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, it's beautiful. I played the game with my daughter, my wife, my son, and they've all loved it. And they get the understanding of it real quick, and it's just kind of strategy and kind of luck of the dice. Kind of like when I said with Risk, the cards, the placements, and the roll of the dice, like that last game that really just kind of worked for you to have the comeback.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel somewhat about backgammon is that, sometimes the dice go, you got to use the dice and then you got to think strategy. Because, for example, if you jump your opponent, you got to think about the fact that in the next real quick moment, if they get out, they're going to be able to jump you, which I've ran into so many times.
I see.
But it is just a fun game that really, like I said, I don't do chess. I don't know how to play. And every time I've tried, I've always been made to feel stupid. So I gave up on it. But backgammon is definitely a game I would play all the time.
Okay. Well, I will say this. If you and I were ever play chess, I would not make you feel stupid about it. I wouldn't, tiptoe around it. I was like, look, let's just try a game. If I see something, then I'm going to point it out to you,
There was do you play chess?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did you see the Netflix miniseries, The Queen's Gambit?
Not yet, but I know it's on my list.
Oh God. Oh my God. Oh, dude.
I think you were the one who told me about it.
Yeah, maybe I was. But oh my God, my wife and I was like, I'm not even but my wife played chess with her ex-husband, and he really tested her one time, and she talks about she never won, but she talks about this game she had where she really made him think.
Mm-hmm.
And he really, she came close, and it was just kind of like she felt good about that she really got that good at it, that she was able to actually have a shot. And, that's why I love the fact when I say you didn't lose if you learned.
Exactly. That's why I never look at anything as a loss, because I can always learn something from it.
Well, you can, there's the difference between losing and learning and failure, because I believe people who fail don't learn from don't learn from it. And that's always been my key difference. And when we were watching The Queen's Gambit, oh my God, when my wife and I can watch something together and we are just absolutely in love with it, it is just like, okay, this is a good show. And the ending, I heard there might have been talk about another season. I'm like, no. It ended perfectly. You don't need to mess with perfection.
Oh, we know, but they're going to in some weird way or another. They're just like, no, stop it. Just spank, just no. Bad month.
Stop trying to milk the cow.
Yeah.
You already got the gold. Stop trying to go for the stop. Yeah. I wanted to do a panel with people. Maybe you'd like to come on it if I can get it set up and get some people to see. I wanted to talk about shows, do a series on shows we thought lasted too long and where they should have ended, and then shows that went too soon.
Okay.
If that makes, because there are quite a few shows where I'm like, yes, this was great, but it should have ended here. This was the point where it should have ended. And a lot of times I find myself being like, no, I'm stopping here. He goes, and people will be like, well, all this stuff happened. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, this was my stopping point. I don't need to see the rest.
Right. It's like, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm honestly good.
I'm satisfied. I'm like, I didn't need all the more. I mean, they sometimes go from excellence to riding the gravy train a little too long and milking it.
Yeah.
I take The Walking Dead, for example, or X-Files.
Yeah. X-Files, I felt there was a point where they kind of jumped, and then it started going downhill a little bit, where they were just like, oh, we got to wrap everything up now, so let's get everything done.
Honestly, okay, for example, for that one, where I think X-Files should have, now I have all the X-Files, but where do I think it should have ended? The movie. The seasons and then that movie. That's where it should have ended.
That would have been nice. That would have been a good
the Smoking Man opening, finding out the X-Files have been reopened. It should have ended there. That's honestly where I thought it should have ended, because it just never fully got concluded.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you could have just left it with an open ending, and that would have been great. So yeah, when I watch X-Files, it's pretty much up to that point. Past that, I did watch the new ones that came out, and initially I kind of liked them, but I was kind of like, great, we just went, fucking A, asshole.
Yeah, I see it. It's not showing up in the chat yet on YouTube anyways. Where's it coming from? There it is. Fuck you.
So yeah, there are shows. There was a show my wife and I were watching called The 100 that she got me turned on to, and I really enjoyed it. And we got to the season 5 final, and we were both in tears. And we knew they were doing 2 more seasons, and we had a very, very in-depth conversation. It was like, okay, if they screw up these 2 seasons, this is where we stop, right? Well, let me put it this way. We watched the other 2 seasons. We only had the first 5 seasons on DVD, because the ending we just felt was perfect. And the ending we got 2 seasons later was like, how the hell is this a happy ending? It was it was very disappointing. Well, the show changed completely. The last 2 season formats were just, and things happened where we're just like, no. There were some good moments. There were some really good moments, some really good heartfelt moments, some really strong moments. There were a couple of characters that were actually really good. Like a character known as Shade Haida, but it was like, no, it should have ended with an open ending. Should have ended on an open ending, and I equate the difference between an open ending and a cliffhanger differently. You don't always need to know exactly how it ends. All you need to know is the story is now over, and I got that from a movie my grandmother. I kind of got that from a movie my grandmother showed me when I was young because she had a lot of westerns. Well, she had a lot of everything in movies. But Valdez is coming, and that ended. Some people equate that to ending on a cliffhanger. I'm like, oh no, that was an open ending. I'm like, I sometimes it's just fun to be like, what happened next, and just think about it for yourself and discuss it versus knowing.
Yeah, there's definitely that. I want to say that positive that you can take away from just having an actual conversation compared to just like, yeah, that was great, but now I'm just moving on kind of situation.
Well, Valdez is coming. Basically ends in a Mexican standoff, and I really think I know how it would have ended because of all the great story that was built up in it. And by the way, this was a Mexican standoff because there were mostly Mexicans in this movie. At least I believe there was. But it was such a great story and such a great movie. And just the end of it was just funny. It was not funny, but just I found myself laughing because he's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And it's like it really was a great movie. I think I try to point that one out because I thought it was a great movie. It's underrated, but it was a good one.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of movies that you would know about that I simply don't know about yet, but would probably greatly benefit from.
Well, if you like westerns and stuff like that, I can recommend some of the. That was one of the things. People say, "Oh, I like all kinds of music," and I understand that term. When it comes to movies or TV, I have a very diverse enjoyment of different ones because I've grown up on, just about every genre, and I can find something in each one that I love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me.
And that's one of the reasons why I talk about my grandma so much because, like I said, she introduced me to John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and things like that, and took me to see Die Hard when it came out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we went. Oh God, I'll never forget that. We went and saw that movie, and we were having dinner at Ponderosa, and we were talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, yippee ki yay!" My grandma goes, "Motherfucker," and I was just like, because I was young, so I wasn't supposed to say cuss words. Damn, it's just the way she said it and the way her look and her expression was. Another good example is Independence Day has a very strong place in my heart. Because when my grandma and we went and saw another movie first. Now, here's the thing. I don't remember what the hell the movie was. I'd have to actually look up what came out that time, because I saw the trailer for Independence Day. And my grandma was like, no. And I begged her for a double feature. And we left that, and that became an annual 4th of July for us.
Oh.
She absolutely loved that movie. She brought me a newspaper article showing it with the tagline "Get off our planet," and she had such a passion for that stuff.
Damn, I don't think my grandparents necessarily had that much passion for that kind of thing, but damn.
My grandfather would literally go to. He wouldn't go to the block. He'd go to the Blockbuster sometimes to get new movies to record for my grandma, because she got to a certain age where she got to a certain health point where, unfortunately, she could not go to the movies with me anymore. And we had, how do I put this? We had a mom and pop rental store there, and they had a 5 for 5 movies, 5 days, $5. And my grandfather would go get 5 movies, put one in the VCR, put the other one in the other VCR, and then eventually he got the decoder before they were illegal. Once that happened, and he would record those things for her to watch.
Oh.
And he had to keep a list because we ended up in the family, and I mean, like the entire family would borrow movies. And let me tell you something about my grandfather here. If you borrowed something or you owed him money, trust me, he was going to remind you of it.
Okay. It's like, it's in there. It's in there. I know it is. Jeez.
Well, I had a few times I remember seeing either my uncle or my dad or even me or my cousin. One of my cousins was, he'd be like, "Where's the damn movie?" We're like, "What movie?" He's like, "Oh, don't tell me what movie. You know you haven't."
It's like, I know that you know with a movie that we both know. Hey,
Oh,
Captain Danford.
he actually came up with a sign out log. I kid you not. He had a full inventory of all the movies, and he would have a sign out log. I mean, my first James Bond experiences were in that basement.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yes, I spent a lot of time in my grandma's basement, but trust me, it was a big ass basement it was a fully furnished basement. It had four rooms. It had the media room where all the movies were. I'm talking bookshelf. I'm talking like 7-8 bookshelves stocked with VHS tapes. And then the smallest room was where he had his computer. And then you had the laundry room, which was freaking huge. And then you had his bedroom. So yeah, I actually wanted to meet. I don't know who bought it, but I always wanted to ask them if I can come in real quick and say I'm sorry about that dent up there in the ceiling, in the kind of lower raised area of the ceiling, because I when I was a kid, I used to run down the stairs, and then when I was going down to the basement, I did a jump and smacked my head up against it and fell flat back on the stairs.
Oh, jeez.
And my grandfather never fixed that dent. And I was like, "Grandpa, why haven't you fixed it?" And he goes, "Oh, so you remember."
Yeah. I mean, I actually, when I was a little kid, I was jumping up and down on the bed. My mother was cleaning, and I jumped off at the wrong angle and propelled myself, and I hit my right temple, right above my eyebrow here, right on my desk. And it was very clear where you could see like the two bumps into the desk. I made the indent, and it was never fixed or buffed out because same thing. It's like, you're going to remember that. And I'm like, I always do. Because every time I look in the mirror, I see that little scar from the little stitches that they had to put in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they wanted you to remember. You better remember this.
It's like, there's no doubt about that. I'm definitely remembering this.
Oh, let's just say I never jumped down the stairs again.
Yeah, and I haven't jumped on a bed since then.
Oh, man.
It's like, yep, not doing that again. I'm good. Excellent.
I was talking to someone about, we were talking Pearl Harbor Day, Remembrance Day yesterday, and we were just talking back on Twitter, and I was talking about, I remember my family. Some of them went to war, but someone like my great grandfather, he wanted to go, and he told me the story as he was deferred because his job on the train, working on the railroads, was more important to the war effort. And I remember asking him how that made him feel, and he was like, "I didn't like it, But if that's where, but I didn't complain because that's where they needed me to support. I was doing it. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That's what you got to do. I mean, that's how you'll win is if you follow the orders and hopefully the right orders.
oh yeah. But yeah, it was a very interesting thing because when I talked to him about it, and I hadn't thought about that in a long time because he's been unfortunately passed away since the early 2000s. I was very, very blessed to have gotten to my mid 20s and had been around very regularly my mother, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather, my granny, and my great grandfather. They installed pretty much all the values I have.
Wow.
I forgot them from time to time, but my grandma would sure smack me across the face if I forgot.
It's like, that'll do it. I got it. I'm good now.
My grandma slapped me 3 times in my life. Once when I was 5, once when I was like 10, and once when I was 22. It's like, when I told my daughter one time, I was like, you need to remember your damn place. She goes, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you remember grandma? I was like, if she heard how you were talking, she'd slap the shit out of you and say that to you. Basically, my grandma's slap was like, you need to remember your place, grandson.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's a time and a place, and that place is right now.
Well, one of the times was the first time was, and I was 5 years old, but we were at a Kmart, and I don't remember the context of what caused it, but like a dumbass, I balled my fist up at her, and the next thing I felt was my her hand across my face.
Ouch. But again, it's like
I deserved it.
Because you're balling your
I
fist
had
up.
forgot. Yeah. Second time was in West Virginia when she was asking me about my toys and stuff because I don't remember the exact part, but I got a little lippy with her, and then she slapped me again.
Mm.
And then when I was 22, I apparently thought I was a little too big for my britches, and she had to bring me back down to reality.
It's like, okay. Didn't realize I needed that, but okay.
I actually at one point, about a year later, when I was in my 20s, I was going through a lot of stuff, and my grandmother and my grandfather were very supportive and trying to help me out. Well, my grandmother and grandfather, they came out to help me out, and I got really fucking lippy and pissed off for stupid reasons, and I popped off at my grandmother. And my grandfather, oh my God, I thought he was going to beat my fucking ass.
Ouch.
And I would have deserved it because he got up in my face and he goes, who the hell do you think you are talking to my wife like that? I was
Damn.
like, oh shit. That was the only time I ever remember my grandfather yelling at me. And I was like, oh shit. I really fucked up.
Yeah. What am I looking at? Yeah, that's something that you just never, it doesn't feel good coming back from. It's like, yeah. It always just carries a certain tone when you have your elders yelling at you. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I was raised, with all those. I mean, my parents are boomers. My grandparents were part of the greatest generation, and my great grandparents were part of the silent generation. So, my work ethic, my family values, my work values, and those views were influenced by them. So when I see these, some of these youngins, not all of them. But I see some of them and how they feel entitled, and they want the money, but they don't want to work for it. And I'm like, oh, hell no. And thankfully, my wife was raised also on very similar values. And our kids are getting raised on that too. Like one time I told my daughter was having it. My daughter had a lot of problems, but one time a few years ago, my wife and I had kept telling her, move out of his fucking house, move out of his fucking house. I'm like, come on, you're miserable. You know you don't like this. And at one moment, when I was talking to myself, I was like, Trisha, grab your fucking balls and do it. Because she was so hesitant. And then she got her own apartment and she's like, I did it, Dad. I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, I grabbed my balls. And yes, I was. And then I came up there to help her move in, get her some furniture and stuff. And I remember her calling me afterwards and she's like, Dad, this is mine. This is mine. I've earned this. And it was really revelational for her. And especially with my grandson, now with my grandson, she ain't gonna raise no weak boy. That much I know.
Yeah.
She's gonna be a loving, supporting mom. She's gonna nurture him. But I know for a fact, is not gonna raise him like some of these kids we're seeing. Like for example, Jennifer Lawrence, did you see what she posted did you see what Vanity posted with her interview on Twitter?
I did see something about that. I'm like, first, I was like, doesn't affect me. Then second, don't really care. Then third, sure, if that's what you want to do. But I'm like, no, you're not. She's not.
No, not even close. And, she's getting roasted for that. I even saw in the news she is getting roasted. I decided to pull up one of my lists and I just started listing all the strong female characters for action movies and action TV series. And, once I was getting close to running out of characters, I said, but men couldn't identify with a strong woman till you. I'm like, somebody actually, I thought it was so funny. Somebody goes, the sheer fucking hubris. I'm like, yeah, that was my first thought too.
Yep.
I mean, you think you are groundbreaking? Let's go back to Mary Tyler Moore and we can even go further back than that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, who am I thinking of? Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball. Oh, yes. Excellent example. But,
I mean,
her saying leading in and being the only female to lead an action movie, the first one, and it's kind of like, okay, everybody's going to say the same thing. Sarah Connor, Ripley. I always like to bring up Vasquez because I always thought she was a badass from England. But she's like, when she says, men can't identify with a strong female character. I'm like, what?
It's like, which planet did you come from? Because I don't recall that being an issue here, but if you think it is, well, whoops.
Yeah, well, it turns out that's not going too well for her. And I'm glad people are calling her out because that was absolute bullshit. I'm so sick of men. It's like, you need to be like this. You need to be like that. You need to be more feminine. You need to not be toxic masculine. My mother, my grandmother, and my granny, I heard all of them say to men who came across this week, and I would never forget the responses I would hear. They were similar along the lines of, not paraphrasing, of course. It's like, stop being a boy, grab your balls and be a man. Didn't your mother raise you right?
I like to think my mother raised me right. So, but yeah, no,
My
Uh,
mother, if I acted like some of these soy boy betas here, my mother would be slapping me. Her best friend, who I've known my almost like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not acting like a man.
yeah.
They have a very, they rate, when I see this is like, you men act like this. I'm like, I was raised by, I say I was growing up in a matriarchy, but I also had strong males that complemented the strong females. But if you ask my kids, who's in charge of the house? Mom, because I
Yep.
taught them that. I said, the woman is the head of the house. Period. End of discussion. And you don't disrespect the woman of the house. I kicked my father out the last time before I moved because he absolutely disrespected my wife. And she gave him a week to get after she told me what happened. She was giving him a week to get out. And I said, no, grab your shit, get the fuck out now. It's like I got nowhere to go. It's like call a cab, call an Uber, call a hotel, or I'll drive your ass to the hotel. But I said,
Mhm.
you're out now. And I followed through. There was no apology he was going to say that was going to be like, oh, okay, I'll forgive you. It's like, no, you screwed up big time, Dad.
Hmm. It's like lines have been crossed, so time to get on out.
Yep, that was pretty much it because that's how I was raised. You don't disrespect the when I'm at other family members' houses on my wife's side. I
Mhm.
respect the rules. I respect the customs of their house. I expect the same in my house.
Right.
If I came to your house, for example, I would respect your rules and whatever you had, or I don't know. Do you have a girlfriend or
I
you live
do,
okay.
but she doesn't.
Um,
Yeah. See, because I really, when I have guests, I tend to have like one major rule, and that is, for the love of God, just wash your hands. That's all I
okay.
care about. Because with the OCD issue, that's really the only thing that comes into play for the most part.
Does she have the OCD or is it you?
It's just me.
Oh, okay. No, I
So
understand that. My daughter has some OCD.
yeah. Uh,
She actually, I think one of them has turned into a phobia because she is terrified of bed bugs.
I can understand that. Um, yeah, it really just depends on like what it is that's going on in life. That's kind of what you know triggers the compulsions. But
Well, I have acrophobia, and that was based on the experience I had back in Germany. But yeah, those things stick with you. And I don't always like the term phobia defined as irrational fear. Because sometimes it actually is a fear based on rational things that have happened to you.
yeah, well, and that's why for me, it's like some of the things that I go through, they're not irrational, but they're just little things that people don't necessarily have the same thing. Like for me, a pet peeve of mine is when guys don't wash their hands, and
Ah,
it's only usually guys. I've never seen it. I've never seen an issue with a woman where she never not washed her hands. So to me, that's a pet peeve. Although I do know we can make the argument of, you know, if you've already taken a shower today, then technically your penis isn't, all that dirty. Believe me, I've gone through a whole plethora of therapy just to try and, you know, move past this.
oh
So,
no, yeah, I understand. There's sometimes a reason for that stuff, but yeah, I agree. I totally understand.
so
And it's like I said, we had an issue in my house where in my wife's house, her family's house, a key requirement is that everybody takes their shoes off. So I started, once I got used to that, I would take slippers with me.
Hmm.
But in my family, you don't wear a hat at the table ever.
Yeah.
You don't wear, and I would tell my kids when we'd go out and my son would have a hoodie on or something, I'm like, pull the hoodie off. Tell my daughter, take that beanie off. Well, had a little issue with one of my wife's family members because I said, take that off. I
Hmm.
said, take that off at this moment, and it got a little heated, and my wife was trying to downplay it and trying to defuse the thing, but it was, it's so ingrained in me that it's just rude and disrespectful that when it was like, if it's a big deal, I didn't let him finish. I said, yes, it is a big fucking deal. I was
Hmm.
like, take it off. Well, I don't think I said take it off, but I mean, at that point, I was just, I was like, yes, I am going to make a big deal out of this because this is, how I was raised.
Hmm.
Now,
Absolutely.
when we go out, if we go out to like a family dinner with, them, it'll annoy me seeing it, but I won't make a big deal about it. But when you're sitting at my dinner table, yeah, that is a big deal.
Hmm. Yeah, because again, your house, your rules. So,
Yeah, exactly. You shutting down soon? Because I know it's been about getting close to an hour, bud. I don't
well,
know
I'm working
what's-
from home today, so I just need to go grab
Ah,
another. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab another cup of coffee, get a little stretch in. Oh, then I'm gonna come back and
smoke a doobie.
uh maybe I have to grind some stuff up. But yeah, I'll be right back with a cup of coffee though. So be
Okay.
back. Yeah, just half a second.
Yeah, no problem, bud. I'm actually going to go Gelogia myself. Oh my goodness, the fog is still here. Man, we've had a lot of fog this year.
Ooh, there we go. I'm back. Hey, BK Dan is here. Hello, and LDG. The only dead air was just because I was getting coffee, and Civilization 6 does not have a theater mode.
Oh, BK Dan and I, man, God, that was a great discussion.
And you guys were just killing it that night.
Have you seen Babylon 5? I was just curious. I don't remember if I asked.
You have asked. I haven't yet. It's on the list along with Red Dwarf was another series I need to watch.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know it's like, you put things on your list and you get to them when you get to them, but life gets in the way and you have other things to do. But hopefully the way we talked about it really uh, it really explains the passion of how good the show was.
Well, if I remember right, didn't Babylon 5 also have Walter Koenig on it at some point? Like, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was Psychor Bester. He was a telepath named Bester.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a great scene with Sheridan when Babylon 5 broke away from Earth Alliance, and Bester comes, and it was there was coming. He goes, "We're not aligned with Earth right now, so what stops me from blowing you out of the stars?" because you're curious. And then he says a few other lines, and he's like, I'm sure that would be more interesting than blowing me out of the stars. And then there was just this long pause, and he goes, Captain. And then Sheridan goes, I'm thinking it over. And I really believe that I really thought for a minute Sheridan was going to nuke his ass.
Jeez. Captain Fandom Nerd was saying you'd have to lose the beard soon, so enjoy it now. What?
Why would I have to lose my beard?
Yeah, what's he talking about?
I don't know. I have no clue. That's out of left field for me.
Okay, because I'm like, nobody's getting rid of this beard unless it's, forced upon me.
No, I mean, I'm going to trim up the sides eventually, but I'll do that after. Yes, BK Dan, he did. Oh, my God, he did. Oh, the sleep apnea. Oh, yeah, I told Captain Freedom Nerd about that. I'm still waiting on the VA to call me back to get. They said I could. I'm waiting on them to call me back to do a telecon because they said I don't need to actually physically come in for a referral. But so hopefully, they said They said they call between 24 and 24 and 72 hours, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I'm like thinking, how long? And I was talking with Captain Freedom Nerd on the DMs, and I was like, if the VA starts to screw me around, I'll use my private insurance.
Yeah.
But I think he understood the way I was talking to him. That he understands. I'm actually scared. I'm worried.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to die from something as, I don't want to say simple, but something that we all kind of take for granted for those of us that, either don't have it or are on the verge of potentially having it. Like, I feel like I have it. I just haven't gotten around to doing the test myself yet because I'm waiting for my insurance papers to come in.
Yeah, well, I know Captain Phantom Nerd, man. He's been getting jerked around like a motherfucker for, I don't know now, like a fucking year to get a surgery done.
Jesus.
And I ask now and again, I'm like, have you had it yet? Have you you've been able to have that surgery? And it seems like he's getting one damn excuse after another, and it's really pissing me off. It was like one time one of the ones was they wouldn't do the surgery because he hadn't had the COVID shot yet, so he got the fucking COVID shot, and he still hasn't had the fucking surgery yet. He said, "I'm just like, this is bullshit."
It may help to keep the beard with the nasal mask.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping for that. If hopefully we'll see. But I've been, it's like my son was asking today how tired I am, and I'm like, I honestly don't know anymore. But when my wife told me I was snoring, I didn't realize she said it was happening only in the last 3 years. I just assumed it was all the time. But apparently, no, that's not the case.
Jeez.
And then when she took the video, and I always kept telling her, take a video of me. And she did. And it was like, okay, I need to get this taken care of.
Right. And I think that's what's going to be for me is to take serious action on it, is to just, okay, I'm waking up way too much in the middle of my sleep. So, yeah.
And yeah, I last night, when I was talking with you and BK Dan, I was actually afraid to go to sleep that night. I legitimately was afraid to go. I didn't go to bed till 1 o'clock either last night because actually I'm having, I'm kind of afraid to go to sleep.
And it's understandable why you would be. So.
I actually took the time last night to look up snoring and sleep apnea, and I was like, oh, okay. I'd never educated myself on it.
Hmm.
I did not equate snoring to sleep apnea, so because I didn't know. I was ignorant. I say there are stupid people and there's ignorant people. Ignorant people are just people who didn't know some particular thing at the time, but they've been educated on it. Stupid people are people who get educated and reject the truth.
Mm.
So I was very ignorant of that. I don't know if Bird had. I think Bird. I know Bird has to use a man. You know, Bird. When I had to go into the hospital about 6 months ago, um, they put that, he was mentioning the nasal thing, and they had that on me, and I had that air tube going through my nose, and I think I honestly got the best sleep I got in years. If it
Damn.
hadn't been for the fact I was severely sick, I think it would have even been better. But I didn't equate that to. And then when I learned about how CPAPs work and how, see, I thought it was a nose thing. I didn't realize it was my tongue going backwards in your mouth.
Really? So then, do you favor sleeping on your stomach then?
No, I can't sleep on my stomach.
Okay.
I used to sleep on my left or right side, but sometimes that's a little hard because especially my left shoulder, because I injured that a few years ago,
Hmm.
and then I injured my right shoulder as well. I was playing with the kids last year, and I tripped and fell and slammed it hard into the ground, and took about 3 months before it actually stopped hurting like hell.
Jeez. That's hard. I can't. Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
And then I'm starting to wonder if I'm getting arthritis in my hip, because I have to take sometimes a anti-inflammatory for it.
Oh. Hey, Gap After Dark.
Okay, thank you for correcting me on that, Bird. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Almost.
I'm like I said, I'm trying to learn this because I'm actually ignorant of this stuff. So I'm doing my research and trying to learn it while I'm waiting.
Awesome. There it goes.
Ooh, SpaceX, baby.
Now, this is the start of the space race towards the space victory.
Oh, nice. Do you get to go to the moon?
We don't get to go to the moon in this game. We just get to launch the satellites from here. There is a game.
Nice.
Yeah, there is a game called Civilization Beyond Earth where it does take you to exoplanets, but it's not the same. It's a little bit more difficult in terms of like just how they built the game. And now, because I've launched the satellite, I get a chance to see everybody's city. And holy shit, Rome has been doing some work. And
Damn Romans.
Shaka. Yeah, the Romans do work.
Where's the Ottoman Empire when you need them?
No, they're not in this game. I see these guys discovered this little island. But no one's discovered this untapped resource, which means I can populate this with at least 4 cities. So,
Oh, pillage it, pillage.
oh, even better yet, giant death robots. That
All I want are some freaking robots with some freaking laser beams.
oh yeah, this is going to be fun. I've missed having giant death robots. Oh, this is going to be fun. Well, all right, so now I've got launched the moon landing.
Just
Ready?
don't have a Terminator issue.
Yeah. And this is going to be nice. I was able to actually earn a great scientist called Carl Sagan. And Carl Sagan's about to help me get to the moon. Here we go. To the
I'm
moon.
not actually familiar with that name.
Carl Sagan.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
He's like the predecessor to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Ah, okay. That makes sense now.
And I think if I remember right, I think his son also wrote on some of the Star Trek episodes. If I remember right. But
Did you ever did you ever hear how the term Jeffries tube came about?
can't say that I have. No.
So back in during TOS, you don't hear this, but when they're crawling around the crawl spaces and stuff, but when you see TNG and therefore you hear the term Jeffries tube.
Mhm.
Well, Jeffries was a he designed the tubes and stuff, and he designed a lot of the props. And one day somebody actually put up above it Jeffries tube, and it just stuck. At least that's what I read. And I thought I could believe that.
That makes sense. Okay. I can see that,
Yeah, I can see that too. Somebody, because I've seen so many times, something, just comes around as, humorous and maybe a fun joke, and then it sticks.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, wow, that actually works.
So yeah, when you hear, like I said, you're not gonna. I don't believe you hear the term Jeffries tube in TOS, but you hear it throughout the other series. I don't know if Enterprise said it, but I know in Voyager, DS9, and maybe not DS9, but on starships for the Federation, they were called Jeffries tubes.
Yeah, I thought TOS did the Jeffries tubes. Maybe I'm thinking about something. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong.
I mean, they had them, but I don't know if they ever actually called them that on. Yes, Matt Jeffries designed the original Enterprise. Yes. And that's what a Jeffries tube is named after him. I'll have to look that up, actually. Here, give me a second. Let me see.
Okay.
Let's see. What was the first time? First time. I think it was TOS, but that's memory beta. I'll have to look that up later.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly how I'm not exactly sure how I should word that, because actually, man, Google and Bing are really pissing me off with trying to search for stuff. I'm like, I'm really having to really think hard about, and I'm really good. I'm really good at actually, being able to pull stuff up based on, put the right criterion. And I used to be able to find what I was looking for, but I don't know what's up with their algorithms, but they suck shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know exactly what's on their minds, but an archaeologist, finally. Yeah, I'm not sure what goes on in the background, but that is Google. I just didn't know anybody else used Bing. I know one person who uses it, but that's Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Oh, really quick. I was just going to say that I know somebody who uses Bing just to get the points for his Xbox account. That's all.
Well, if I'm being honest here, I sometimes forget that Bing is the main thing for freaking Edge, and sometimes I forget to go to Google.
Yeah.
But even Google's becoming a freaking problem, where it's like, I'm like, are you suppressing information? Because I'm putting stuff in very plainly. I should be able to find it.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing, Google? What you doing? You're doing something stupid again. Begin the giant death robot invasion.
Twitter is, I got on Twitter in 2020 because I refused to get on it back before I retired from the military because I had to on Facebook. I had a lot of retired military friends, and there was a lot of things they were saying that as an active duty person, we're limited on free speech. And, the whole social media thing. It's kind of like, okay, how far can I say something? So I had one time where I told several people that I was like, look, I agree with you completely, but I can't respond to it because I'm still active duty. And I'm like, I can't, I'm actually worried about putting a like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know, I was trying to protect my career.
Right, because I mean, it's one thing to say something, for or against something, but at the same time, it's just like, I got to worry about the job because the job worries about this and shit like that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, the military, we had to, we have to accept we take restrictions on our free speech, but we voluntarily acknowledge that. So, and they all understood because they were all military too. But once I retired, that's when I got on Twitter. I remember when I was retiring, and I was like, I cannot wait to take this freaking filter off. Like, you have a filter? I'm like, you have no idea. And some of them saw me sometime later and were hearing how I was talking. So it was like, damn, you really did have a filter on.
It's just like, yep.
I had to. I didn't want to get in. People are like, why? I'm sorry, but I wanted my career. I wanted my retirement. I wanted my disability. I want to fuck it up for running my mouth on things I shouldn't be doing when I can do it later.
Right. Ran out of cash. Bunsy Cody guy was right about the Bing. Because you were literally government property.
Yeah, I was. And I'm okay with that.
Because you have a serial number too, right?
No. I have a DOD ID number now. Serial numbers were before Social Security, and then Social Security numbers became the thing. And then if I actually hold on, I believe it's called DOD identification number now. But I'd have to grab my blue card to double check on the back.
Oh, no worries.
But they still mostly go by Social Security numbers still, though. But we were all given at a certain point in time, I don't remember exactly when, we started getting DOD ID numbers. So you could probably equate that to a serial number.
Okay. Recommission nuclear reactors.
Yeah, let me check that. Now you got me curious. I got to check. I haven't pulled my ID out in a while.
Okay, and let's see what else we'll build next. Recommission reactor. Last thing I need is a meltdown. Nuclear reactor for power. Aquarium, another unit. Kill. Yes. Here we go. Nuclear power. Good one, PK Dan. Producing or purchasing military units. Melee. Faith. Me, of course. I get the diplomatic points.
What the hell was that? SpaceX One. They've gone to plaid.
Nearly correct. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. One of my giant death robots has been finished. So
Oh,
it's
over
always
here.
fun for me. Let's see. I have a worker now. Build a bomber, no. Venetian Arsenal it is. Okay. Let's see. Next up.
Oh, it's called. I believe it's called. Maybe when I was active duty, it was called a DOD number. As a retiree, it's called a benefits number.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, you could equate that to a serial number. I mean, the relevance is still the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a lot of things are I'll call the VA and they'll be like, they'll ask me my last name, my date of birth, and my last four.
Yeah, standard, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it's always so interesting fact that you may not know. I believe my wife and I are mill to mill. But here's a funny thing. I retired first, so I get a blue card. But because I also retired first and she was still active duty, I became also a dependent. And because she was the last one to retire, I have to have a dependent card for my medical insurance outside the VA because the insurance is under her.
Oh.
So I literally have two cards.
All right, MD. Here's the next war. Unable to surprise war. Well, screw it. We're going to war. Hey, let me go to war.
Let's go to war.
Unable to surprise war. Some member of your team is a friend or oh, come on. I can't. Damn it. I'm like, well, because here's the thing. Right next to that guy, I have a giant robot of death at the ready. I have a huge tank ready to take on the city. And I have rocket artillery to take down its defenses. So whenever I can, I'm going up against Hungary and I'm going to take them down. And then this whole continent will be mine. All of it will be mine.
Yeah, when you said that, I was thinking of this. I gotta check. I gotta look up which song it was from the hard rock metal band I like. But it goes, "Let's start a war." Actually, yeah, let me look that up. This is Michael Avenatti gets 14 years. Okay, good.
That's not surprising.
I don't know. If I'm being completely honest, as much as I follow politics, that kind of stuff I don't really pay attention to with that guy because I was like, okay, he's screwed. Once I knew, I was like, oh yeah, he's screwed.
Oh yeah. Just like, well, good job, guy. Good job. All right, let's get this.
Yeah. The song is called "Let's Go to War" and it's by Nothing More. I thought that's who it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. I've been a little out of the game on listening to some of my hard rock heavy metal.
There we go. Next launch. Now this one is going to Mars. Nice. All right. Up next.
Now, question for you. Do you know that satellites that are launched are actually in various different elevations in space, depending on their purpose?
Well, I'd imagine they kind of have to be to avoid each other, wouldn't they?
But it actually does, and I'd have to look it up to give you the complete details, but certain satellites are closer, and I believe there's 3 areas where they go around, and they have to, they put them at different elevations for different reasons. Great one, DK.
Yep. Well, actually, getting to Mars is part of the science victory. Let's see. Actually, no, that was it. See, establish a Martian colony. The next one is launch an exoplanet expedition, and then finally, help the exoplanet expedition travel 50 fucking light years. Jesus. The nice thing is that nobody else is anywhere near the science victory right now. In fact, there is nothing but victory for me ahead. Ooh, unless the diplomatic victory gets me in the ass.
I love the smell of rocket fuel in the morning. It smells like victory.
Yeah, I've got
that BK Dan. That was just perfect timing. That was great. Get your ass to Mars.
do it now. Okay.
Do it now. Now, I was actually watching on YouTube. Arnold Schwarzenegger was going over his, most iconic roles. And believe it or not, he actually got into a disagreement with James Cameron about the "I'll be back."
Oh.
He said, he's talking to James Cameron, and he's like, this doesn't sound right. I mean, he's like, how would you say? He goes, well, I will be back because that sounds more like a robot. And he said, James Cameron said, look, I don't question your acting. Don't question my directing. Or sorry, he either said directing or writing, but they took the shots of both. And and he said, he thought it was a throwaway line. He said it sounded kind of stupid, which makes sense. He's from Austria. So, it didn't, to him, it just didn't equate very well. And then he said, I would be, after the movie came out, I'd be seeing people and they'd be like, oh, say the line. And it's like, what line? I'll be back. He goes, I'll be back. And it's like, no. Say it like that. Say it like in Terminator. I'll be back. And of course became one of the most famous lines in, cinema history.
It actually was one of the taglines. Like whenever I get a tech whenever I successfully research a tech, it actually gives a little quote. And one of the quotes for the giant death robot was, I'll be back, by Terminator. So yeah, it's got its influence even in this game.
Well, it was like I was doing this. I was doing a fun skit on Twitter. Somebody put on there that somebody my wife shared with me said he got in the comments, "Oh, you're old," and then he goes through how old he is, and I was like, I was loving it. It was just so amusing because like everything he was saying was almost all of it was so relatable. And then I was like, I did my own video the next day because I was thinking about how old I was. And one of the lines I put in there, because I thought about it really long and hard, and I only wanted to do it for a minute. And so I got up the next morning after I slept, and then I started writing them all out. And one of the things I said, I'm like, I was when the taglines, I'll be back. There can be only one, and get away from her, you bitch. Oh. Also did another one where I actually made the comment. I said, how old am I? I'm when Michael Jackson was black old. And then I finished it off with, I'm son, get up, change the channel on a TV that has rabbit ears with aluminum foil around it, old. And I was like, yeah, that nothing more needs to be said.
Yeah.
But it kind of inspired me to do that because I was just like, I started really thinking about, because my wife and I sometimes talk and talk about the things we don't, that just aren't around anymore. Like, for example, the guy would say, I'm dialed on a rotary phone, old. I'm like, oh my God, I've done that.
Just looking at my schedule.
And if there's any question about that, and to give you an example, when we have this antique store up the road. Mm-hmm. This was what I bought.
The good old days.
I bought it as a prop because I just. Oh, BK Dan, that was so good. I remember a joke being, when it was like, statue of Michael Jackson's been erected. Changes will be made if needed. Or something like that. I just.
Damn.
How old are you, MKG?
I am 35 going on 36.
Wow.
I'll be 36 in about 22 days.
So you're a millennial. Okay.
Yeah. I was born in 86.
86. You were born in, you said 22.
Yeah, so
22 days. You were born what?
December
New Year's
30th.
Eve? Oh, December 30th, right before New Year's Eve. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. I was 6 years old at that time. Because my birthday's in October.
Yeah.
So I'm 43.
Older than MK. Yeah, BK Dan, I feel like everybody's going to be getting up there before I can.
It was funny. There's been a few times where I was on panels where everybody was older than me. And they're like, shut up, youngin'. And I'm just like, yes, sir.
Well, I have a feeling that'll probably be me at some point, but who knows?
We were raised to respect our elders, I think. You seem like I said people talk about Gen Z and millennials, and I was kind of like, I've seen millennials two different ways. The ones that were raised more like, closer to the Gen X,
Mm-hmm.
and then those raised by like maybe the Gen Z, more like the Gen Z. But all three of my kids are Gen Z, and trust me, they do not. You've heard me talk about my oldest, and they do not act like that.
No.
My wife and I have installed those values of you need to appreciate what you got.
Absolutely.
And my two younger ones have really started to understand that. And so when I told you about the gifts we got them in the background, I was so excited because I was like, my son has been so patient, and I cannot wait for him to open it up because he has been patient. I mean, he literally was like, Dad, take my allowance, put it towards this. I was like, are you sure, son? And he's like, yes, I want this. So
it's like, I need you to do this for me. I need it now. It's like, son, your voice got really deep. I know.
I don't like the voice. We can fix it. If you don't know, that's a deleted scene from Terminator 3, I think.
Really? Okay. I didn't realize that. Learn something new every little day. Skosh. Yep.
Oh, I love learning new stuff. I'm always up for learning. I want to know these things. I said the day, I live by that thing. The day I stop learning is the day I'm in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So how's the resources going at this new area?
So far, so good. It's good because nobody else has claimed anywhere. So I need to put at least two more. This whole little island will be 1, 2, at least 3, 4, maybe another 3 more cities can be put in here. But the problem isn't that. The problem is a few things coming from a few different factors. One, there's only 73 more turns left before the end of the game. And so then it's just a score victory, which I'll naturally win. Science, I can win it if I can get there fast enough. Culture, I've got that on lock. Domination, nobody's got anywhere near close to me. Religion, I'm still there.
Games like this, I think, are great because they used to say games, video games rot your brain, but you're really having to think about, these games and stuff we're really having to think about. And it really makes you think of how to play it. And I'm like, man, games came a long way since I was a kid.
Well, and that's why I like this particular game, because it does have more facets than what I'm doing. And with all the different DLCs that they've released for this game.
Is that Mordor?
No, that's just a volcano. But they're trying to go after my giant death robot, but it's not going to work. Yes, giant death robot. Oh, it lost half of its health points. I can fix that.
We can fix it. We can make it stronger, better,
Mm-hmm.
faster.
All right, builder. Yeah, so the problem for me right now isn't necessarily settling a new island. The problem I'm running into right now is how fast can I get through the science victory to actually win this game before in the next 24 turns. And the reason for that is because in 24 turns, there'll be a World Congress. At that World Congress, people can get awarded diplomatic points, which right now, 2 players only need 3 more points to declare a diplomatic victory. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, so I need to start creating some additional wonders, and then really just ramping up the science technology so I can get there. So it's still anybody's game, but I'm hoping to make it my game.
So is it an accumulative points thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Here we go. I got to sacrifice that.
Hey, sometimes you got to make it.
Well, I mean, also too, I'm at that point so far where it's just like, well, let's just get to it, because I have enough resources. It's just a matter of time now. And I'm also watching the time too. I'm trying to finish this before the top of the hour, if I can.
Do your best, bud. I'll try not to distract you too much.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, I just feel bad about not being as entertaining as I normally can be. But we're getting to the point in the game where it's like, we're getting there. It's almost time to conclude.
You're getting to crunch time. Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
understand completely. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
And
Totally
I also just want to go to war with them before they get another. Or I want to go to war before the game ends, because I want to get something done. I want to have some fun in here.
Actually, now I want to stick around because I was going to leave, but I want to see if you're actually going to win now.
And that guy denounced me. I don't care. The Romans, they're over on the other side of the island. I could give 3 shits less. Advanced power cells. That's the last tech. Open tech tree. Sweet. I'm practically at the end of researching all the techs.
Nice.
Oh, it's okay. So mountain. Wow, I can't build anything there. Well, fuck you too, I guess. I'm gonna go to Rome and steal their shit. Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was so hilarious looking at and insulting where, first off, Jennifer Lawrence thinks she was the first action female to lead a role. And then, like, well, men were taught not to identify, with strong women, or how she said it. I'm like, okay, then why are the 2 of the most popular characters my son loves is Aloy from Horizon and Lara Croft Tomb Raider? But yet, and then we can list off all kinds of strong women we've seen, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, but you were the first.
Yeah.
It's like you were nowhere near the first.
Yeah. All right, let me check. Diplomacy.
That was actually, and I saw Denise Crosby actually did a response to her. Yeah, let me pull this up. Yeah.
Okay.
This is what Denise Crosby said. If you don't remember, she was Tasha Yar.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Hey, Jennifer Lawrence, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to thank the many boys men who were allowed to completely identify with a strong female character long before you were born." She's like, "There are a couple of us." And then she says, "At Star Trek." And I'm like, "Yep." So I pointed down, I retweeted, and I was like, "This right here."
Yep. It's like, you didn't see this, you didn't think of this, like, you know. It's like everybody like wants it to be about them. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I was gutted by that. I actually like Tasha Yar. I understood why she left, but I really did like her character.
Yeah, I wish she would have stuck around for at least the second season.
I think things would have been different if she had stuck around, but you got to understand, she wanted out. She was concerned, and Gates McFadden and why she left. And then they brought in the Pulaski character, and Patrick Stewart was actually. I've actually listened to the actor who played Pulaski, and she's like, she did 2 different TOS episodes, and she was like, it was so different on that environment. Everybody was welcoming and friendly, and she felt like it was a hostile environment. And Patrick Stewart was working behind the scenes to get Gates McFadden back.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, the one after. I think it was the one after that. I can't think of the name of the title, but yeah, that was kind of oops. We got those out of order because what BK's talking about is there was an episode after Skin and Evil when Tasha Yar dies, where she's actually in the episode.
Oh, well, that I didn't.
I got it. BK Dan, you're gonna have to give me the title, buddy. I know what you're talking about, but I can't unless you're talking about Yesterday's Enterprise. But I don't think that's what you're talking about. Because I don't think he's talking about Yesterday Enterprise. I think he's talking about the next episode. And I'm just struggling to remember it. Oh. I can't remember all 725 episodes names.
It's like they're there.
I'm not that good. Oh, you were talking about All Good Things. It was a trick. Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. I like that. I like that. No, Tasha Yar was not a Romulan. That was her daughter, Sela, which was a product of the Yesterday's Enterprise when Tasha Yar stays and goes on the Enterprise C.
Yep.
Actually, I always would have liked to know what happened with her.
Who, Tasha Yar in the Enterprise C episode?
No. We know what happened to her. I always wondered what happened to Commander Sela.
Oh. We'll probably see her at some point.
I would have liked to have, about the only damn thing that is even going to get me to watch Picard season 3 is I'm actually kind of curious about the Moriarty character coming back because he really was just so great in the 2 episodes he was in.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I'll kind of just wait for the Wikipedia article to recap it all for me.
Yes, Gab, Denise Crosby was a Romulan. Yes, you are correct. I was going with the Tasha Yar was not the Romulan. That's all. No worries, man. No big deal. I get where you're going there. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you on that one, Gap. Absolutely not. Now, something I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Lieutenant Savick was actually also half Romulan, half. She was not half Romulan, half human, but half Romulan, half Vulcan.
But they never divulged that in the movie, did they?
I don't think so. I think that was more of a behind the scenes thing that came up.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but I don't think it was ever, it was never confirmed, I think, on any of the shows. I know, I remember when Star Trek 6 came out, reading about how they wanted to bring Savick back, but what they wanted her to do, they were like, people love this character. They're going to get really pissed if we do this. So that's when they made, what was that Vulcan's name? The young lieutenant. Was it Valeris? I
That sounds right.
Yeah, Lieutenant Valeris, I think. But I read and saw an article on the years ago that they thought about bringing Savick back for that, but they were like, okay, people like this character, they're gonna get really pissed if we turn her into the bad guy.
Yeah, not exactly the best move.
And I would totally agree with that. But oh my god, Worf may be the greatest Klingon on the TV, but Christopher Plummer just fucking owned that.
Yeah. Yes, close the menu. Yeah, he did. I feel like we don't get a lot of good villain actors anymore. It feels like
we get generic villain actors. He was, okay. There's a difference between a villain and an antagonist, I think, or at least that's the way I feel. He was an antagonist. He wasn't a bad guy. In fact, I played the video game that he was in as your mentor as a Klingon. It's like, it's not that he's a bad guy. It's his culture has a very different opinion.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
We're just in that one too.
That one is searching for exoplanets.
Oh, I have no clue what that is.
An exoplanet is basically like another Earth-like planet that's out there. So,
BK Dan, we can agree to disagree on that, but I can understand. But I'd love to hear your point of view on that sometime. I'd actually be genuinely interested. I like hearing diversity of thought. I believe in IDIC, at least for some things.
Yeah. Okay, what time is it?
10:40. Or sorry, you're.
Oh no, you're good. It was just 10 till. And here's the other thing too. I also forget that there's a clock in the game too that I can look at. Like there's an actual clock right next to the turns.
Gotcha.
So
I'm always looking at the bottom right on my laptop. Although I'm going to keep my laptop, but I'm going to get it once I get some stuff done in this den here. I get a new desk. I am getting a freaking PC because I actually miss having a PC. I also only have two screens. I have this big ass TV here connected to my laptop, and I'm like, I actually miss having the dual screens the way I used to. One right here, one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I have to I don't know. The left to right thing is more comfortable than the up and down thing.
Yeah. Neutralize governor. Nope, not gonna do that. Accept mission. Yeah. Oh, sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second. Sorry, Andy.
No worries, bud. I probably distracted you.
No, you're good. It's just the multitasking. And I'm also trying to get to war with somebody, but I can't declare war. Damn it. I have to
can see
wait.
you, Kirk, but can you see me? Let's be honest. One warrior to another. No peace in our time.
Yep. If I can help it, there'll be no peace in this time either.
But that scene where, and I love this. This is one of my most favorite scenes of the movies, is when he's like, Chang is quoting Shakespeare, and you have McCoy go, "I'd pay real money if you shut up." And then, it's like they're getting hit again, and Kirk is like, "Where's that damn torpedo?" "She's ready, Jim. Lock and load. Fire."
I would just keep thinking to myself, McCoy, you know what real money is? That's impressive. Because, according to Enterprise,
Yeah, I know.
just being a stickler.
No. I understand that. I think he was just being, I think the term would be facetious or sarcastic.
I think facetious was the word.
Yeah. But I just love that scene when it's like, "Where's that damn torpedo?" "She's ready, Jim. Lock and load." Fire.
Yep.
Just the whole hand grabbing him, standing up and pulling his head. Fire. And then you have Chang looking like, "What the fuck just happened? Why are they firing? They shouldn't be able to." He's like, "To be or not to be." And I was just, they realized they were fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as target that explosion and fire. And the Excelsior class is my favorite class. Absolutely love the design of the Excelsior class ships. It's always been my favorite. I know a lot of people like Defiant, the Constitution class, and the Miranda class are always standouts. But for me, it's always been the Excelsior class.
Yeah.
Actually, before he went off the goddamn rails, I actually wanted a series of Sulu captaining the Excelsior.
That would have been interesting. But, yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh, peace through superior firepower. If I'm not mistaken, BK Dan, that's from the episode Arsenal of Freedom. Welcome to Minos, the Arsenal of Freedom. They provided sophisticated weapons. To which side? Both.
Yep.
That really was a night. That was a good episode. I really did enjoy that one. I know season 1 gets a lot of shit sometimes, but honestly, there were some good gems in there. There were a lot of good gems.
Yeah, there were some. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head at the moment, but yeah, there were some good episodes. Let's see. Why can I not launch the final one? Let's see. Science is traveling two light years per turn, so that's 25 turns. Okay. How do you help the exoplanet expedition travel? Can't. Okay. Well, there's nothing really more for me to do, so
there was always a fun quote. One of the lines Gene Hackman said in Crimson Tides that after I joined the military, I really understood this reference. He said, "War is a continuation of politics by other means." He was right.
oh yeah. Because I mean, for me, it's just like, yeah, I kind of need your territory now.
Beacon Dan, I didn't actually know the actor's name. I remember him, but oh man, I didn't know his name. But yeah, he was the whole character. Was a salesperson. I love when Gates McPadden. You have Picard trying to reason with this thing, with this hologram, and you have Crusher go, he doesn't understand anything other than what he's peddling. I'm like, yeah, that's his program. He's a salesman. He's that traveling salesman.
Yep.
The Avon lady or something. Cowboy diplomacy. I always did like that term. I always did like that with, you are as stubborn as another captain I once knew on the Enterprise. Then I'm a good company.
Yep. That was a good one. I like that. Damn, why can't that one trade? Oh, it's because I have too many trade routes. That's why. Okay. Where are you going?
There are a lot of memorable quotes. The guy who played Spock's father,
Mhm.
I read an article once. He actually preferred playing. He actually said he really enjoyed playing the Romulan commander more because it just felt he didn't mind. He liked playing the other character, the Spock's dad, but yeah, he really kind of took that as this was a great role for him. And actually, it's one of my most favorite episodes. It's my top. It's in my top 3.
Mhm.
Because my top 3 Star Trek episodes, in no particular order, are Doomsday Machine, Devil in the Dark, and Balance of Terror. Those are my absolute 3 favorite episodes. Yes, Balance of Terror was excellent. Yes, Gap.
Bill.
I so loved that episode. Oh my gosh. But those 3 really stood out for me as, the one. I don't know if I have a top 5. I mean, I'm sure I could, but those are the 3 that always are my favorites of TOS.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's just check.
Wait. Number 4. I know number 4. Sorry, I was having a brain fart. Let this be your last battlefield. That was freaking amazing. And then some asshole I just saw on Twitter not too long ago, he's like, he pulls that picture up and he's like, Star Trek was always woke. I'm like, you are a fucking idiot to equate that to being woke.
Yeah.
The point of that episode was these people had been at war for so long, and now they're the last 2 left, and they are still blinded by their bigotry and hatred. Whereas the rest of the crew, and even Kirk says it when in Balance of Terror, when it was like, I will not tolerate bigotry. Because, that we had gotten away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't and when he's like, you're black on one side, you're white on the other. Yes, I'm black on this side. I'm white on this side. He's on the other side. All his people, and you're just looking at their faces, and I mean that was amazing acting because it's kind of like they don't get it.
Yeah, but until it's too late, and I have to go back and rewatch a full-fledged run-through of all the TOS episodes again. Who stole
Did
shit?
you guys realize Doomsday Machine was originally designed to go after the Borg? No, is that something in beta? Oh, in the novels. Okay. Where is my Doomsday Machine? I actually have one. Took me a while to find it. I had to go on eBay to finally get it.
Jeez.
Well, Eagle Moss went belly up.
Mm-hmm.
I think they tried to go a little too far. And honestly, people were really getting pissed getting the Discovery starships. And I can't say I blame them.
Yeah. Okay, science. Expeditions travel 15 light years. We're traveling 4 light years per turn.
Oh, I must
So-
have put it back in the box and boxed it up while I'm trying to read.
Okay, so I have 35 light years left to travel. I'm traveling 4 per turn. So 9 turns. 9 turns and the game's over.
BK Dan, are you talking about a Horn of Plenty? Because that's how I know how to say that. If you're talking about a cornucopia horn, I'm thinking of a Horn of Plenty. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I paid $55 for it, which I thought was a good deal on eBay. To answer that question, Gap After Dark. Okay, BK10, you're talking about a Horn of Plenty. Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. No, actually, I keep meaning to get one, but I'm going to have to order it because they just don't put them out anymore. And that was something that I was used to seeing in my family traditionally at Thanksgiving. So I need to fix that. Yeah, buddy.
Does it have a trailer for a movie that me is showing like?
What's the trailer?
It's called Megan.
Oh, yeah. Show me that in a few minutes.
How are you going to be?
Until he wins.
What game is he playing?
Civilization 6.
So who's all on the stream?
Just me and him.
Hello.
Captain MKG. This is my son, AJ.
Hey, AJ.
Hi.
Yeah, don't
How's it
worry.
going?
This will be over soon.
Yeah. No, trust me. I heard you guys talk about that. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. No, I will bring you back in when we're done.
No,
But
you
I
can't
got
come here for a second.
no. I want to see. Give me a few minutes. Let me
It'll-
wait.
It'll be a few turns. You can if you want to go ahead out and
No, that's fine. Yeah. BK and Dan, remember? Yeah, his handle on PlayStation is Darth AJ the Sith.
Nice.
Well, we were coming up with he was trying to come up with a handle, and we came up we kind of came up with that, and he really loved it.
Jesus. Science. I need science. There we go. Confirm. Wait. Now it's just like playing music at this point. It's like playing a keyboard. Attack.
BK Dan, get with me on the DMs. I would love to hang out with you and maybe do some streams talking more about Babylon 5. Because that was so refreshing. I mean, Star Wars and Star Trek are always on the main things, and sometimes it just gets redundant. And I'm like, I love that stuff, but there's more to sci-fi.
Oh shit. Okay, let's do a quick gut check here. I'm traveling 6 light years per turn. There's 18, so 3 more turns is what I have left. And the World Congress is going to meet in just 3 turns. Jesus Christ, I'm pushing it. I am pushing this. I just want to launch a thermonuclear device. Why won't you let me do that?
How about a nice game of chess?
Come on. Oh, I don't care. Your commission. Whatever. Just fuck you. I don't care about whatever you're saying. Come on. Get to the space race. God damn it.
There you go, BK Dan. That's my handle. It's my handle on Twitter. Grandpa MB.
Then to attack. Attack. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Come on. Damn you. I don't care. I don't care about this. Trajan, whatever. Whatever. Oh, and this
I'm
is
gonna
where
watch
it's
you
gonna,
do this so I can try and keep up with my son because he moves as fast as you do.
this is gonna hurt. This is make or break right here. Not that. Not that. Yes! Victory!
Is that
Yes.
Sputnik? Oh, nice. Oh,
going
man,
through
these graphics are nice.
This is going through
Oh,
the
that
Science
is
Victory
gorgeous.
Cinema. Yeah.
Oh, that is sweet. Or as Dan would say from the Orville, sweetness.
Yes.
God, I'm still praying that gets renewed.
Victory. Yes. Oh, a science victory. It was awesome. All right. Yes, Cody Guy. Flawless victory.
Flawless
Oh.
victory.
All right.
Finish them.
Oh, that was finished. Oh man, that was great. I love that. That was a good game. All right.
Man, you worked your ass off for that, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see. Tomorrow, Risk Friday. I'll send you the link, NB.
Yep.
Okay. Cool beans. Well, yeah, get ready for another long session
And
like this.
we're doing global domination, and we're doing the regular map. Do you want
Right.
blizzards or not?
I don't think we need blizzards. I think you
Okay.
said you're good. I think you said you're going to be doing a portal though, right?
No. I
Oh.
said I played it, but I want other people to play it before, anybody else does. When we do a game together, because it takes different strategy, and I want people time if they want to do that to, maybe play it and learn it to help them. But yeah, we don't have to do any of that. We can just go old school Risk.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll be ready for that tomorrow then. So thanks, NB, for being up here and hanging out. Appreciate it.
All right, bud. I'll let you say goodbye, and I'm out. But
All right,
great
MB.
talking with you, buddy.
Hey, always a pleasure, NB. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I do appreciate it. We are going to close it out though. We don't need to play Portal before playing Portal. We just use okay. All right. Well, that's everything, everybody, for today. Tomorrow is Risk, and then moving forward, we'll play some City Skylines, and then if this is really the attention grabber, we'll come back in for Civilization 6, and we'll try one of the new DLCs. We'll try and put on one of the other modifications I think uses the heroes, and we'll try and play with that for a little bit. So, all right, everybody, until tomorrow, have a great day, and I will see you all next time. This is Captain MKG signing off. Take care.